Welcome inside the Next One Studio. Colin Brown with you for another episode of Colin's Corner. Today we are delighted to have Antoine Davis of Detroit Mercy with us. 24 points per game, a two-time first-team All-Horizon League selection, freshman of the year. Antoine, it's an odd time out there right now, man, with the coronavirus going on and everything. How are you? How's the family? And have you been able to get in the gym at all? Stay in touch with the game?
Family's good. Everybody's good. My brother actually got it, but he's doing a lot better now. He's been at his home, quarantining himself. I haven't been able to see him in like a week or two, but he's doing a lot better. And I've been trying to get in the gym. They actually let me in at Callahan, me and my dad, and they're the only two people that we're the only two people that they let in the gym. And so that's really good. So I try to get in there as much as I can, but we can only be in there for I think 45 minutes. So I get a couple hundred shots up, just something to keep me in tune with still playing basketball.
Yeah, absolutely. Obviously, talking with guys from around the country, it's a tough time to find time and find a place to get up shots for sure. But hopefully your brother's doing well. How long's he had it?
I think he's had it for a couple days now, but he's doing so much better. He's eating now and stuff. He just really couldn't eat a whole bunch, but he's doing way better now.
Yeah, well, that's good to hear. Obviously, it's affected us all. As we bring in the fans, obviously chatting with Antoine Davis of Detroit Mercy. It's good to hear that he's doing better, and hopefully he has a strong recovery. But Antoine, let's just talk about your game for a little bit. Obviously, you come out of the high school ranks. Talk about your recruiting process. You end up going with your dad over to Detroit Mercy. But was there plans before he obviously went up there to go somewhere else, or what was the recruiting process like on your end?
Yeah, I planned on going to Houston to play for Coach Sampson, and then I talked with my dad and stuff. And he really wanted me to come up there and play with him, and so I asked Coach Sampson if it was okay if I came to play with him. He said he was cool with me going. He was cool with me getting my release and stuff and signing off on it, but only if it was to play for him. And I had no problem with it, so he gave me the opportunity to go play for him at the time, which was Texas Southern. But then he got a new job, which was at Detroit Mercy, so then I ended up going up there with him.
Yeah, very cool. Obviously, you follow your father up to Detroit Mercy. Now, 2 seasons obviously in the books. Your freshman-sophomore campaign, 24 points per game as a sophomore, 26 as a freshman. Huge numbers. You are obviously one of the best scoring guards we have in college basketball. Scoring the basketball, is that something that has came natural to you over the years? Obviously, you've been a dynamic playmaker for the Titans. Talk about your game a little bit and your feel on the floor.
Oh, yeah. I wasn't really always able to shoot. I've always had a little bit of something because I've always been working on it. I've been shooting at least 500 shots since I was 14, 13 years old. That's when I really just started playing and stuff. And so, it just really all just came together over the time of me just working over the past 7 years.
Yeah, absolutely. Hard work pays off, no doubt. Antoine, talk about obviously going to play for your dad. You just mentioned you were going to Houston to play for Calvin Sampson. He lets you follow your father up to Detroit Mercy. What's it been like with him on the sideline?
Oh, it's great. Not too many people can say, they play for their dad and do great things and stuff like that in the comp. Not too many people can just really just say that their dad's a head coach and that they're playing for them, and it's just honestly it's a blessing.
Yeah, very, very cool to see. Obviously got another season upcoming, 2020, 2021 as well. It'll be very exciting to watch. But your first 2 years, obviously a dynamic playmaker, one of the top scorers in the country. I know it's still early. We have a long way to go before we kick off your junior campaign. Are there any goals or expectations you have set, obviously individually and team-wise, heading into next season?
Individually, try to do the same thing that I've been doing, but honestly take it a step further. And then as another individual, just working on myself and working on being a leader for whoever that we have coming in, and just so then we can make it a goal to get to the tournament, win the Horizon League tournament, and then make it to the NCAA tournament.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll tell you, that would be a fun watch to see you on an NCAA tournament court for sure. So let's take a look now. In our latest mock draft, we have you as obviously a selection, big time playmaker coming out of the mid-major ranks. You decide to come back to school for your junior campaign. What was that like? Did you have any conversations? I'm sure you obviously brought your dad into the picture as well, but were there options available, obviously, to head to the NBA, or what was the decision, or how was the decision made to come back to Detroit Mercy for your junior campaign?
Oh, yeah. I mean, there was a lot. We talked about, my dad and I talked about it, and I was actually going to do workouts with some teams, like individually. Like, I don't know what NBA teams, but just doing individual workouts with them. But then all this decided to happen, and so it just really slowed the whole thing down. And so then I just talked to him. I was like, okay, I mean, I'm probably just going to want to come back anyway because I still have a lot more that I want to prove. And I feel like I'm better than what I did my past 2 years, to be honest.
Yeah, absolutely. And obviously, as you mentioned, the coronavirus has now affected us all. It's obviously ran into your family as well. You said you've been able to get in the gym for 45 minutes at a time or so. Is that basically to the extent you've been able to get on a basketball court? I know it seems like everyone I talk to is trying to find unique ways, to stay in tune with the game. But has that primarily been your focus, just getting in there, 45 minutes at a time?
Yeah, just as long as however long that they let me in there. And I'm just glad that they just let me in there because not a lot of people can get into the gym. And so it's just, I'm thankful for that. And the 45 minutes, I just try to do as much as I can in that time, try to get like 500 shots in at least, and then just come back home and then do some push-ups, stuff like that, try to keep myself going through all this.
Yeah, absolutely. And like you said, very fortunate to be able to get into a gym right now. That's huge, I'm sure. Moving forward, obviously a dynamic scoring guard. Antoine, who do you compare yourself to at the next level? Who's a guy you've idolized maybe, or who you think you modeled your game after moving forward?
My favorite player has always been and like will forever be, even though I'm not 6'8", 250 something. LeBron's always been my favorite player, but somebody I idolize that's my height and that I feel like I play like is Lou Williams or somebody like Lou Williams. I feel like we have the same body type. And I watch a bunch of other people like Damian Lillard, Steph Curry, Trae Young. I watch guards that are like my size or my height and just study off them and then work on stuff like that.
Yeah, absolutely. There's definitely comparisons there to all those guys you just mentioned. We're here with Antoine Davis of Detroit Mercy, ranked 16th out of our top 150 here at nextones.com, 91 overall. Antoine, you mentioned big junior season upcoming for yourself. You said you would love to be in the NCAA tournament, but talk about the Horizon League in general. Obviously a mid-major league, night in and night out, the competition level. It's really possibly an overlooked league. There's so much parity going on, so many good players. Talk about what it's like to play in the Horizon night in and night out.
Oh, I love it. I mean, like you said, it's really underrated for its competition because there are some really good players in this league and really good teams. And like the Wright States and the Northern Kentucky and the UICs and the Youngstown who played really, really good this year. So it's a really underrated and overlooked conference.
Yeah, absolutely. And you guys obviously are a huge part of it there. Two-time first-team all-performer Antoine with us here. Antoine Davis of Detroit Mercy, 24 points a game. Antoine, obviously a tough time out there right now with coronavirus. We hope you and the family stay safe. Obviously, the brother over there gets well. Hopefully your brother gets well, I should say. Thanks for joining us, man. I appreciate the time, and obviously good luck moving forward to your junior season.
Yep, thank you. I appreciate you having me.